From mortgages to millions, how Matt and Randy Sullivan are building a national insurance business through community, AI, and modern networking. Welcome to the Modern Insurance Agent Podcast.
We're your hosts, David and Al Denning.
What happens when a millennial couple dives headfirst into the insurance world, scales $1 million remote business, and decides to share the journey with the world?
You get the Modern Insurance Agent.
Here, we reveal the messy, magical, and sometimes hilarious realities of building a business and a life you love.
From traveling the globe to building remote teams. Yes, even working remotely on top of a mountain in the Philippines. We're sharing insights, strategies, and plenty of laughs to help agents and entrepreneurs succeed.
Because, let's face it, success isn't just about hitting numbers.
It's about designing a life that works for you.
So let's dive in and build something extraordinary together. Welcome back to the Modern Insurance Agents Podcast. Today's guest went from working in mortgages to running a growing agency with 80 licensed agents, 100 plus life clients, and 100 million in face amount in force, alongside his wife and business partner, Randi. But first, if you're on here, you're listening, you want to get all the goodies, the resources, the show notes, and how to connect with our guest, go to jumpstartgonow.com/podcast. We've got everything for you guys there. You can find all the goodies, past episodes as well, and you can connect from there also. So they're building a community in smart ways, leveraging Facebook groups, local COIs, centers of influence, and now experimenting with AI to scale faster. Let's welcome Matt Sullivan to the show. Tell us a bit about yourself, Matt.
Thanks for having me on, David. Appreciate the invite. This is exciting. So my name is Matt Sullivan. I run the franchise Ono Distribution with my wife Randi. We are located in just south of Cleveland in beautiful Medina, Ohio. And we started getting into this business she started roughly about almost 7 years ago, 6.5 years ago. And I joined her 3 years later once she opened up her own office, and we've been growing ever since. So that's a little bit about how we kind of got started. I'm sure we'll get into more of it as we go here.
Absolutely. I mean, quite the journey. I'm sure a lot of challenges over the 7 years overcome, getting to work with your spouse, what you guys have learned from, what you guys have put in place, a lot of things that we'll be diving into, which I'm excited to talk about. But yeah, I guess the best place to start in stories is at the beginning, right? So not when you were born, we can zoom a little bit further down the line, but what led to and Randi launching the agency, and maybe even taking us back to what led to her starting, and then eventually, hey, now's the time for me to come in as well. And especially with her starting as well, like most people are, I want to be an astronaut, pro ball player, or get into the insurance and finance industry when I grow up. So I'd love to kind of hear that transition portion too.
Yeah. So it all started back when she was a teacher. So she was a special needs teacher, K through 3. She was in the Lorain, which is just west of Cleveland, and the Cleveland public school district, which if you know anything about Cleveland schools, it's not the best. But she loved teaching. She loved her kids, and she had a drive to help these kids and help people in general. She's a caring person by nature, and she wanted to get more out of what she was being asked to do. A lot of teaching, and especially in special needs, it's a lot of babysitting, and she wanted to help the kids do a little bit more. And unfortunately, that just because of the politics of teaching, there's certain things you can and cannot say, and all that kind of stuff. And she actually was starting to get a little burnout. Teachers don't actually work from 7 or 7:30 to 3 whenever school's out. It's actually much more than that. They're usually at school for a couple hours later. Then they got to get home. They got to do a lesson plan. They got to grade papers. Like it's almost like a 24-hour type of job. And as we know, teachers don't really, or they're underpaid, right? They're underappreciated. Mm-hmm. And so it was like, man, if I'm going to work this hard, I want to kind of get paid for what I'm worth type of thing. And I also don't want to work the rest of my life was what she was had decided. And the benefits team came into her school one day, and they went through the benefits and, the insurance and investments and stuff like that. And she asked them, like, how did you guys get into this? And they told her, and they talked about residual income, passive income, and building, your own type of brand that way. And that was like a spark for her. It was, okay, there's something else that I can do, that I can work just as hard at and build a passive income, so that if I decide to not work one day, I can do it. I'm going to go explore this. So she actually interviewed for like 5 or 6 different jobs, mostly financial plan. I mean, obviously insurance as well, but it was mostly financial companies, all the big ones that you've heard of. She stumbled upon Primerica because that was the one company that was willing to let her do it part-time and get her licenses on the side while she, still worked, because she still needed to make money. And she knew she couldn't put a ton of time into it just yet, but she wanted to eventually leave. And so she went with them, and that was June of 19. I believe it was 19. Yeah, June of 19. And she got her licenses in the next, 8 months or so. And luckily, and I say luckily because it just happened to work out for us. Luckily for her, COVID happened, and because she couldn't go to work and be a teacher anymore. And so that forced everybody, the world, on Zoom, right? On and to be more virtual. And it expanded everything. She could now not just be in Ohio, she could be in Iowa or California, right? So she decided to, okay, I've got this time off, and I'm not working, but I'm still getting paid for my teaching job. Let me see what I can do with this, quote unquote side hustle that I've started. And she ended up making the same amount of money that month that she made as a teacher, which, that's not like it's some huge amount of money, but the point was she convinced herself, like, oh, okay,
yep,
this is what I can make this money doing this, and I don't have to teach. Or at the very least, I'll replace my income and have more freedom of time. That alone would be good enough. And so, yeah, COVID happened, and she never got back to work. They asked her back, and she was like, nope, not coming back. I don't need to. I have found my spot here. And so fast forward 18 months, she worked her way up. She eventually got promoted to regional vice president, which is the franchise owner of the company. And she started her own office. And I told her at the time, well, when she first started, like, yeah, if you do open up your own office, I'll come work with you. Me personally, I was in mortgages. I made good money. I loved being in mortgages. I did have a lot of freedom of time. But I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, sure. I'm sure you'll open up your own office. Well, she's a stubborn individual, and thank God she is, because we wouldn't be here today without that. And she opened up her own office, and it was like, all right, I opened it up, and I was like, dang, okay. So
you promised.
What's that?
I said you promised, right?
I did promise, and also on top of that, it was almost like perfect timing. It was almost like divine timing. It really was, because it was the end of 22 when I was slowly making my way there. It's like the middle to beginning of 22, but towards the end, if anybody has been in real estate or mortgages, or we had that great boom, right? From like basically even 2019 was really good for rates. Even 2018 was pretty good, and then through COVID was like people were getting rates as low as like 1.75. Right? Like it was nuts, and so business was really good. And by the time we got to the end of 22, those rates had dried up. Everybody and their mother had either bought or refinanced, and the rates skyrocketed. And so I was seeing my business do this, and I was seeing her business do that, and it was like, okay, this is she did what she said she was going to do. I promised her, and the timing is pretty perfect. And so I will say I did reluctantly come over because I did love. I liked what I did. I really did like it. But the writing was on the wall. I knew what the opportunity could bring us, and I have actually fallen more in love with what I'm doing now than what I was doing with mortgages. So, yeah, I mean, it just ended up working out perfectly.
That's awesome. And I mean, some of the best agents and passionate agents I know in this industry came from teaching. I think it's that like servant's heart and being able to explain things clearly on that side. I think translates so well to this industry. As even L's cousin made that transition from teaching and just like you said, overworked, underappreciated. Wanted to help, but realized, hey, I can make a really big impact on this side, just like you were saying. And so that's been so awesome what you guys have been able to do and develop, and in your own transition to come into love this side of the world on the insurance side, which is related to the mortgage industry, a little different for sure, but yeah, you probably also weren't hey, I'm gonna end up on the insurance side eventually, and the financial side, right? And so a bit of a transition, I'm sure, too. And which, speaking of, like you both come from very different backgrounds. How'd that affect how you built the business and working together?
So it has been a blessing and a curse at the same time. I say that because a blessing in the sense that she came, like you said, she came from as a teacher. She has that servant's heart. Her whole thing is basically, it's to serve, and it's to educate, and it's to, be super personable, and all the things that a good teacher would have, right? And I came from the mortgages, and not that that stuff doesn't show up, and because that's that stuff shows up in sales no matter where you're at, but mortgages is a numbers game, in the sense that you got to make numbers work. It's not just a sales numbers game. Like you got to make certain things, fit certain things in certain boxes to get things approved. And so I am very technically sound person. Like I am all about the numbers. I'm, for better or for worse, can be kind of a black and white thinker about things. When I look at stuff for finances or for just anything, it's what are the facts, black and white. Whereas Randy is a little bit more of, there's more minutia to it, right? There's more nuance. There's more trying to get people to understand more than you are trying to, I don't want to say pontificate, but like trying, I'm technical. She's more personable. Right. And so I'm also technical and she's more actionable. And so that's where the curse kind of comes in, but it's a blessing for her. I'm learning to be more like her on that side of the business, because what I have found is that the actionable side is always going to outdo the technical person. The technical person gets frozen by, they say analysis or paralysis by analysis, right? So I'm someone who's like, I need to know everything. I need to understand everything before I do it. Whereas she's like, I'm just going to do it and figure it out later. And so we butted heads in some of the way that we wanted to go about, recruiting, or we wanted to go about getting clients. I want to make sure that it's done perfectly and that it's great. And that's what going to bring people in. She's like, I'll throw stuff at the wall. I just want to do it. I'll find what works. And so that there was some butting of the heads at first, but I have come to be more of an actual person as opposed to the technical. I can still bring that, that's still helpful, but she was right.
I mean, they go together, right? Like there's benefits to both, and in collaboration, you skyrocket. Like, because sometimes we move too fast and we break too much things versus we're processized, and that's important to have your process systems, numbers behind everything, of course, too. So you guys kind of the opposite of Elle and I. I'm definitely very much like Randy, and Elle's very much like you on that side, but it goes well together, right? Because those are definitely things that work in conjunction. So I love that. So ultimately, what did the first 6 to 12 months look like as you came into everything, and working together and kind of deciding was this kind of vision look like?
So even though we had our differences, actually the first 6 to 12 months, that's almost like I would call the glory days. Like that was really exciting because, I had made the transition over, and I told her from the very beginning, like, if I'm going to do this, like at the bare minimum, like we have to make as much money as I was making before. Like same thing she was doing with teaching. Like bare minimum, I better make as much as that teacher. Like, well, you better bare minimum, you better make as much money as what I was doing with that mortgages, because I'm giving up my career here, and like I'm not gonna come over and fail at it. Like so, like we gotta like if we're gonna go after it, let's go after it.
Mm-hmm.
And we argued sometimes and we butted heads sometimes, but the goal was always the goal. And so that first 6 to 12 months was probably more frustrating for her than it was me, because I was new. I mean, I had heard her, I picked things up, from listening to her, and she would tell me about her clients and stuff like that, but I didn't know anything, right? Like I had gotten my life insurance license when she first started, like as just a help to her. I didn't actually know anything about life insurance at all, other than what I'd heard from, her trainings and stuff like that. So a lot of it was basically, here's what happened. She was always really good at the job and really smart, and people really loved being around her, but she just only had herself. I mean, she had some other agents that she had trained, but nothing like having another agent in the home with you and seeing them 24/7. And like, that's how you can really build. And so I was just another body to do more things. I didn't have to be really good at something. And so she was on a lot of calls for sure. I helped get the calls. I helped get clients, and I helped build our team and things along those lines. But it was a lot on her shoulders, but just having someone else to do something for you, it pushed us out there exponentially fast. Like we replaced my income in under 8 months. So the goal was to do it in a year. We did it in 8 months, and we haven't looked back since.
I love that. And definitely I have to get Randy's description. I don't think she's going to call you a body doing extra things, right? So a partner, I think, is the word we're looking for, of helping out and helping with the growth and everything on that, which is exactly what you guys have done. So speaking of, you guys got 80 licensed agents in over 30 states. Like, what helped you scale recruiting?
So, we did do resumes for a long time. We went on the resume sites, all the ones that everybody's heard of, Indeed and Career Builder and all those different websites and they're great. Those are great websites. The issue is you gotta pay to play, right? So you can't just go out there and hope to get good quality candidates unless you put some time and money into your account. So that became a thing for a long time. But once we built our base of agents, we could then scale outwardly from there. Social media has obviously been a big move, and so anybody that we bring on, we try to teach them things that we've learned from you guys. And that really helps, bring in new recruits. People are interested in what we're doing, and so that's been a big factor is social media, and honestly, really diving deep into our new agents' warm market. You find out that they know other really good people too, and other people who feel like they aren't getting paid for what they deserve, and they want more freedom of time and flexibility and all that passive income and stuff like that. And, it's just a matter of having a conversation. It's, hey, who do you know that is like you? We want to talk to them. Right. And it's like, actually, my best friend is this. And so that's how we've really built a team. So we started, obviously we started with our own market, but we really grew with resumes. And then after that, it's been more of an I want to call it organic growth. Just by social media and tapping into, our new agents, their markets as well.
Love that. I mean, because people know and usually interact with similar people, right? Maybe in similar
Right.
life situations, similar career paths, and similar struggles, right? Either that or we interact with people where we want to be. Hopefully, we're not interacting and surrounding ourselves with people from maybe the where we were as much, right? Because like you are the people you surround yourself with. So I think that's great. Like, hey, they know similar people, similar challenges, and if they're able to make this big difference, cool. Then others would love to do this as well. And I think an important thing, like we've also have done the different resume sites and just kind of it's very impersonal. You do have to go put a lot of work and a lot of processes in place on the side. But I think the social side, like you mentioned, is not only they get to see you guys, they get to see the culture, your own agent, like, because your agency is different than another agency, right? And
Right.
so of like, oh, these are the people I would like to be around, and these are people doing the things that I want to do and put in place. And so I think it's a good way to share yourselves and the culture and allow
Yeah.
your team to share that as well.
And that's the thing too, with resumes. And again, I've got nothing bad to say about them, but the difference between getting a resume and hiring that person as opposed to kind of going it more organically on social media, or they find you, and so like the quality of candidate is definitely higher through social media and organically growing, as opposed to the resume person, because the resume person doesn't know you from Adam, but the person online has seen you, seen your face, has heard your voice, and they probably know someone that you know. And so that has been, we've slowed down in amount of agents that we have probably licensed and recruited, but we haven't slowed down in production. And I think it's because we have found quality over quantity. And sometimes you got to go through quantity, right? You got to, like I said, throw stuff at the wall and just see what works. Sometimes that works for trying to build a team, but eventually you want to get really good people. And so we have found that the better people are built through social media and other people's markets that know and like us and see us, and they can put their hands on us. That's been a better way to go about it, even if our numbers are down. But you don't want to recruit just to recruit. That's silly.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
of course.
no one wants to you don't want to say like, oh, I recruited this many people. Okay, well, it doesn't really matter if you don't bring any income from it. If they're not producing, it's kind of irrelevant. Give me 3 superstars over 30 duds, and I'm gonna win every time. So
less headaches too. Yeah.
yes, and less headache, 100% less headaches. Yes,
It's easier to help manage 3 than 300, right?
Right.
On that side, and I think it makes a lot of sense when we talk about like people's who they know and their networks and their audience, right? Like, and that's what we focus on building is our network and all the connection, all the opportunities that come from that. But when I take with people's network just like in person, and stuff, like if I had someone, okay, take a piece of paper, write all the people maybe they get 50, maybe they get 100, maybe I have got all these 200 people I know here, right? But when I come to social, it's like, okay, well, who all are you kind of connected with in front of and stuff here? It's like, oh, I've got 1,000 people here, 1,500. It's like, oh, their markets are even wider because, they may have connected with all kinds of people or just people they even forgot about and stuff there that it would never write the name down. But now as stuff showing up on social, cool, I'm tapping in these markets that even more of a market than just what I could sit and think about, right? So yeah, lots of opportunities there. And you guys have grown both the insurance and the investment side. What's your approach to client acquisition and retention?
So again, the social media has been really great for that. We have, and it's not always necessarily transactional in the sense that like people aren't necessarily reaching out like, hey, I need life insurance, or I need a Roth IRA right now. I saw your post. That's what I need right now. Like it's more of cultivating, right? And so that people ask questions, and then eventually you get them on a call. So anybody who's doing social media and is like, why am I not getting the clients I thought? It's very rarely, and maybe you could speak to this too. Very rarely is it ever like they message you, "Hey, I need this policy tomorrow." Like it's they usually have a question. They're trying to figure something, trying to get more information out of you, and then you can turn that into a call or what have you, or maybe it's building a group. But yeah, I mean, social media has been obviously a big point of contact. Centers of influence, even before we did your guys' program, we had a couple really good centers of influences that we've always used. Health agents, there's a lot of health agents that are probably life licensed, but they don't want to do life insurance. They have no desire to. And so we have partnered with a couple of those people, and that's great because I have no desire to do health insurance. I couldn't offer it if I wanted to. So I love getting connections with that. Obviously, my own natural warm market and any of my agents, that's obviously part of the plan as well. But we've done a really great job of building a network for ourselves. I mean, we are constantly at some type of networking meeting. We're constantly just talking to people. Like I wish that there was some like secret recipe I could tell people. Like the reality is it's just getting your face in front of people. And social media does a great job of that because your face can be in front of tens, thousands, millions of people, if you build it big enough. And so, yeah, I mean, we just try to contact people, everybody that we know and we see, and we try to build relationships that way. But the centers of influence have been a really big thing for us. And, I created a golf networking group on Facebook. My passion in life outside of investments and insurance is golf. I love golf. I play it a couple times a week. I just really enjoy the sport. And so my wife actually created she was pregnant at the time, but she created a mompreneur group, right? So mom entrepreneurs group in the local area that we live in, which is Medina, Ohio. And she put it out there like, hey, I'm thinking about making a mom entrepreneur group, networking group, would anybody be interested? And we put it in the Facebook groups around the area, and she got unbelievable response. I mean, I think she ended up having like 100 new friend requests within the next week. People were all about it. And so she has now turned that into a weekly event. Not everybody shows up, sometimes I show up this week or next week, doesn't really matter, but she encouraged them to bring their kids. Hey, let's get together with our kids. Let's talk about our businesses and let's try to grow each other's businesses. And I was like, I saw this and I was like, I wonder if guys would be into doing that, but I didn't want to do something that was just boring old. Hey, let's go meet at a bar. Let's go meet at a restaurant. Let's network. Like we can network anywhere. There's plenty of networking events in the area. You can go have a drink and have hors d'oeuvres. So I thought, I know a lot of people who golf. I love to golf. Maybe I'm barking up the wrong tree, but I think I have something here. And I know, you watch movies and TV shows. They talk about, doing business on the golf course, right? So I was like, all right, let me try it. So I did the same thing she did. I put it out there to the groups. Hey, I'm thinking about creating this golf networking group. And I did make it men's only. Nothing against the ladies. I love you guys. But my wife already had the ladies group, and there's not a lot of men specific spaces. So I figured, hey, let's do something that we all love to enjoy, but also create relationships and build businesses with. Mm-hmm. And so that's where I had my idea. And again, same thing I didn't have as many friend requests as her, but I had something like 80 people say they were interested. And I think the group has, last time I checked, it's over 50 people in my Facebook group. And so we've now, I've started this, and it's every other week, every other Friday we get together. I think I'm going to have to make it every Friday because the people who do come are like, hey, why aren't we doing this every week? And I'm like, I just figured you need more time to tell your wife or whatever, like get the time off. I'm giving you 2 weeks. But they're like, no, we're all gung ho about it. And what's really great about what's happening is, yes, I've gotten a couple referrals from it, and that's the point. But what's even cooler is that almost everybody who's shown up has gotten something out of it, referral out of it. Some people have gotten 4, 5, 6 referrals out of it already, and we've only done 4 networking meetings, 4 rounds. So to see other people build is really cool. And, when they feel comfortable and they love what you do, they're going to, they're naturally going to get residual referrals over. Like, people, I know it's going to come, even more so down the line. And just from doing this, and it's been really great. And I've found other business owners that, they have employees, right? They need those employees need life insurance. They need benefits. How can I help with your employees? And that's turned into a ton of clients as well. I just actually did one a little presentation for a small company the other day about giving them investments and insurance, and so that's turned into eight different client meetings that we have coming up, and I'm gonna do another one in July of 20 plumbers. So yeah, it's been great.
I love that. And, darn, you're gonna have to play golf every Friday. You're willing to sacrifice for the growth of the agency.
Yes.
And I love that. Right. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if you got to be out there every day, practice just so you can get the most out of your networking events. Like, I know you'll put in the work there for sure.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Right.
But no, that is so incredible, especially when you get to take things we love and tie them into the business and the network we build. I mean, that's even more fun, right? Because it's things we're passionate about and enjoy. And so I love that you guys both took action on that for creating these different centers of influence based groups and these connections and these relationships, because that's so powerful. You're right. Like, it's not, especially someone new to you, it's not very often someone's just directly like, hey, I saw a post, like, I need that insurance right now, right here, unless
Right.
it's something very specific, like I need a key man policy like now, or a buy sell agreement or something. But in general, it's like, oh, I've been connected with you and I need something. Yeah, of course, Matt. Can you help me? Cool. I know you can, actually. So let's book a time, right? And so much comes out of these relationships, and honestly, it just keeps on expanding and snowballing. So I love what you guys have already put in place, already have built there. Speaking of the mompreneur groups, you guys recently had an addition to your family, I believe, which I'm really excited about. Congratulations on that side. So the mompreneur group, I'm sure thriving is got a mom leading it as well, and I'm really excited for that, as well as the maybe not every Friday on the golf side, as I'm sure you got a lot of family time you guys are having right now too.
Yes.
Which actually is a important point, I think, that to bring up and wanted to chat a little bit about, is like the yes, we're helping others, building connections and everything, but ultimately, like, that vision of building a business and a business in place, meaning this can operate and continue to produce income, even if maybe I'm not right there at the moment or for a period of time. So can you talk about what that's kind of looked like, coming from the perspective of building a business to, yeah, we're taking some time away with the new addition to our family and everything there?
Yeah. I mean, I was just thinking about this today, actually, about how, we feel like we've been very blessed. We have she's a good baby. But I also think that she's really good because we're there 24/7, and, we can work from home, and, we have our own business, and we have the flexibility on time and all that. And I was thinking of, like, I was asking her, like, hey, I don't understand, not to say that it's not hard. There's challenges of being a parent and a new parent. Don't get me wrong, but it's been easier than both of us thought. And she was like, well, yeah, like, most people don't have the opportunity that we have, which is to be at home, be present with our baby, be able to go off and on. Like, I take care of her, she takes care of her. Then, she's doing the business, I'm doing the business. Right. And, the ability to have a business that you can scale and that you can bring in passive residual income. I mean, that is the goal. So I mean, we'll find out. Maybe I'm wrong about this, but I don't think I am. I really think that the reason why we've had such a decent time, I would say an easy time so far, is because I just think that we have an opportunity that other people don't. I mean, think about how many people out there that have kids, but they still got to, once maternity leave is over, or even during maternity leave, like, dad's still working, dad's gone, she's got to go back to work, they got to get a babysitter, they only see their baby, 2, 3, 4 hours of the day. That baby might be crying at that time. Then they're not going to sleep because of this. It's like, that would be hard. That would be super hard. And thank the Lord that we have chosen this industry, because we would not be able to do what we've done so far. We wouldn't be able to take off time when she was born and still have an income coming in, because we've built a business and that we've built a residual income. And so, yeah, I mean, more now than I've ever felt before. I'm so convicted in what we're doing now, and I'm more convicted on why we need to bring this opportunity more to other people and build our business bigger, because I think that stress, marriages, all like things can be fixed if you just if you, number one, didn't have to worry about income, right? No matter what happens.
Mm-hmm.
And number two, had more time to focus on the things that are important, actually more important. Like our jobs are important, but our spouses are more important. Our kids are more important. And when we can focus more time into that, you're going to have a happier life. It just is what it is. And so I'm even more convicted to get the opportunity out to other people, because I don't think a lot of people can even think about taking off months at a time without losing a big chunk of income, or even just having the ability to just turn your work off from like 2 to 6. Like if I want to not work today,
Yeah.
I can go take off for a couple hours and go take my daughter around the park, and I don't have to worry about anything because I'm my boss. I'm my own boss, and so yeah, this is more people need to be. I say this reluctantly because I don't want too much competition, but no, but more people need to be in the business that we're in, because there's no other business like it.
Yeah. And I mean, it sounds like you got a bunch of content, next content ideas right there, right? Like
Right.
highlighting that opportunity, highlighting what you guys are able to do yourselves and the impact. I mean, I think with a lot of, parents or, people thinking about becoming parents, like, well, yeah, that would be amazing. Like if I had a business and I had it, in place and point, well, yeah, I could spend that time with my loved ones and have that time and flexibility. And, I think that's really important. I think a lot of people be like, well, yeah, if we could be home and trade off and help support each other and not have to go in the office and all these things, like, yeah, that would make process easier. It's like, okay, well, do you want to build that?
Right.
Yeah, actually I do. Yeah. So can we talk now about that? Right. So I love that. I mean, I love the impact. And I think a lot of people that would resonate so much with them. It's, I know we're not the spouses that are like, listen, I need to get out the house or whatever, so I'm also of the, listen, I spend my life around my spouse. So like we, home together, we drive in the office, we're working from the office together. Like, it's my best friend. So,
Yeah. That's honestly maybe the biggest surprise of, we've obviously we've been together for 15 years, and obviously we have a good relationship, but our relationship got actually better when I started seeing her 24/7. And I don't think I think that's the biggest factor, is that we're on the same page with everything. Like we're doing the same thing. We know each other's schedule in and out because we're running the same business. And I think there's just a lot of arguing, with couples that, number one, for either money or just not understanding what the other person is doing. Well, if you guys are both in the same business and you're both making money, you know where the money is, right? You both have a very good understanding of it. And then also, what each other's doing constantly. Like you have to, if you want to be successful, that is, you have to have each other's schedules constantly. And so I think we didn't do anything different other than just be on the same page. Like that's it. And our relationship actually grew to what it is now, which is even better than what it was before I started with doing this with her.
I love it. Insurance helping build relationships and marriages too, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Right.
Just another plus on that side. So, and shifting in a little bit on the tech side, this Modern Insurance Agent podcast, I love talking about the tech, of course, social and all these things too. But yeah, let's talk about the topic that everybody loves talking about right now, is moving so fast paced, a little around AI. Like you're thinking a lot about AI, as we talked about, and not just for proposed booking meetings and all kinds of, honestly, it's just moving so quickly. But kind of what's your vision there, thoughts around that? And is that something that you'll be exploring for your business as well?
Yeah. I mean, I'm constantly open to, any way we can improve our business, and if something can take something off our plate or, improve our system better than I want to learn about it. You're right. It's moving so fast that it's kind of hard to keep up with. Like I just like understand Chat GPT like 2 months ago. So, not 2 months, it's been longer than that, but very recently I just learned how to like really use Chat GPT to my advantage. And that's now is pretty basic compared to what is going on with the other stuff that's going on. And so, I think that we have to find a way to evolve and to get even more techie, I guess is the right word. Or, we can continue to do it the old fashioned way, but I don't think we have to. I think there's going to be stuff out there that is going to make our lives and jobs a lot easier. And it's just a matter of finding the right system and finding the right people to help you out with that. And I don't know what the vision is per se. I would say that what we've used already is great. It's great for like, you want to talk about like you have writer's block, like I don't know what to write. Talk to Chat GPT. Like you will find something. You will use something that you can put on your social media. But I don't know where it's going to take us. I know that if we don't find the next step, like we're probably going to be left behind. So we definitely need to go more into that, and I want to get more into that. And again, I'm the technical brain, so I need my wife to just like do like, hey, we're just going to get this and do it and see what happens type of thing. And, because I want to research what this AI product, and I'm not sure which one's the best one. Is it compliant? Is it not compliant? Like every little thing in the book would go through my brain. So I want to learn more, and I'm constantly trying to keep my eye out for it. But I know that our industry, like, again, you can do it the old fashioned way, but you're going to be behind every big time producer if you don't find a way to incorporate the technology that we have. I mean, just like Zoom has exploded, I think everybody's business, because now they can be in more places than one. AI is going to it's going to be tenfold, and we just have to find a way to keep up with the times as much as we can, even though it's moving at speeds that it's tough to comprehend sometimes.
I love it. It's both exciting and maybe a little scary at the same time, but mostly exciting. I do say please and thank you just in case to my Chat GPT and AI, because I watched Terminator. Listen, I want to, let's be friendly just in case, right? So exactly. No, I'm excited, guys. I really look forward to getting to do another podcast in the future, have Randi on with you again, get to have you guys kind of talking about some experiences and stuff in place together on that. But I want to thank you so much for the time, Matt, and getting to drop and share on all this. I really, really appreciate it. And where can people follow you, plug in what you're doing, and connect with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So it'll be in the, I'm sure in the notes here. We have our website. It's a Google site with auto distribution. And obviously on Facebook. Facebook is where all my content is. I mean, that's where all my my links, my Conley links, and I'm starting to get on TikTok. I'm starting to be like the cool kids. So that one, I think my username doesn't make any sense, but I think it's just Matt Sullivan 67. I'm starting to go live. So if you want to get some information and what we do and how we do it, then I'm starting to go live on like a every other day basis. So we'll see where that takes me. And I'm excited about what the next steps are.
I love it, guys. Connect with Matt on his Facebook. We'll have the link to his sites and everything on the show notes. Once again, jumpstartgonow.com/podcast. We'll have everything there for you guys. One final question, what's one thing you wish more people knew about building an agency with your spouse?
I would say that the one thing that they should know is that it's okay to have disagreements. It's okay to fight, not fight badly, but it's okay to have some arguments, as long as you just keep the main thing, which is what is our goal? Our goal is X, Y, Z. Let's keep that in front of us. And so no matter what you do with your spouse, like come back, have your argument, take a breather, take 10 minutes, come back, and be like, okay, let's refocus on what we're trying to accomplish. And instead of me, being mad at you or you being mad at me, tell me why what you're thinking is you think is the right thing, and I'll try to understand it a little bit better. Just try to understand it and then come to a conclusion. And also, if you have a spouse and your spouse isn't in business with you, find a way, even a little bit, if they even are a little bit a help to you. It's a cheat code in business. You can have business partners and all that, but if you want to grow, if you want to get out to as fast as you possibly can, even if your spouse doesn't want to get fully involved, if they just even get just 10% involved, it is the only cheat code in business, right? Everybody has to work hard. Everybody has to do what they got to do. But the cheat code is having a business partner, or your spouse being your business partner. That's going to grow you as fast as you possibly can.
When they're in your corner and you're building something together and a vision together. So I love that. Thank you so much once again, Matt, for taking the time. We appreciate you having on. Thank you to everybody who is joining us on this as well. Appreciate you having you on this episode of the Modern Insurance Agent Podcast. We'll catch you on the next one.